Jess here from Original Ink by Jess. I work as an office assistant and volleyball coach in Arizona. Here we talk all things money, and today I have a special guest, my mom, talking about how she paid off her credit card debt and any advice that she can give you guys. So let's get into it. All right, Mom, so introduce yourself to the people.
Hi, my name is Carmelita, and probably throughout this talk, you'll kind of get to know probably more about me than you really want to.
That's it?
Mm-hmm. No, that's done.
Mom, so let everybody know who you are.
Hi, everybody. My name is Carmelita. I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan, and I've been living in the Phoenix metropolitan area for almost 30 years now. I'm definitely a weather weenie. I've raised 3 amazing adults, starting from when my oldest was 10, so pretty much most of their life as a single parent. I have made many mistakes, and I've conquered many of the mountains, and I'm semi-retired. I had a very long career as a federal investigator. A long federal career, and part of that career, or the last part of that career, was as a federal investigator. I'm very passionate about equality and leveling that playing field for all races and genders and all of that, just all inclusive, Rainbow Coalition.
And I would just like to add, she's the best mom ever.
Aw, thank you, Jess.
All right, so the first question I have for you, Mom, is how did you get into debt in the first place?
Boy, oh boy. In preparing for this interview, I was like, how did I get there? So I got there because I didn't take advantage of opportunities that would have prevented me from being in the rat race. And then once I was in the rat race, I wasn't committed to getting out of it as quickly, as effectively, and as efficiently as possible. I believed more in, I'm not going to just work only to pay bills. And like I said, if I had taken advantage of opportunities presented to me before even getting in the rat race, that if that's the only thing you hear me say is any advantage that you have that you can take to not get in the rat race, take it. Once you're in the rat race, get out. What I mean by rat race, you're paying rent versus owning and controlling where you live, those kind of things. So we'll probably get into that a little bit later. Or should I keep going?
Okay, after getting into debt, when did you decide to make a change and tackle that debt?
When I saw how the energy of money, how the thought process wasn't working, how I was working so hard and, not really necessarily working so hard. My money was not working for me. I was spending money to use my money. Hello? That's like ludicrous. And once I understood the mechanics of it and why all of the rat race kind of stuff really matters, then I saw how much money I was actually spending. I was bouncing checks to pay Peter to pay Paul. So I'm not only earning that money, then I'm spending money to use my own money.
Yeah. Alrighty. The next question I have for you is, what was the process like paying off the debt?
Well, when I start looking at it, and you're gonna ask me about like how long did it take me, and really it was a way longer process than it needed to be. So in the real story of things, it really took me about 7 years. But in that 7 years, I was not serious, I was not committed, and I hadn't employed all of the smart money moves that I know into it. Once I did that, it only took me about 2 years. About 2 years, maybe 3. Part of that was because I was seeing that I could not afford my basic life. So if anything happened once I left the nest, because I ended up leaving the house, and then Jessica and her sister and brother, they ended up having other housing arrangements. Stephanie brought a house, James is away at college, so, and then Jessica, she's living in her apartment. So I'm living on my own and needing to pay for everything myself. When we were living together, everybody contributed to the household. So now I have to, and I'm not able to take care of my own basic living expenses. I gotta change that.
My next question for you is, how long did it take you to pay off your debt?
It took me, once I totally committed, like I said, once I was totally committed, it took me about 2-3 years. And the way I did that was I committed to still enjoying my life, but after all of my living expenses were taken care of, I was directed to, my intuition told me that I needed to have a set amount of savings that I do not touch, and not savings that's for a rainy day. It was just a certain amount of savings that I had to have. I did not try to save until after the debt was paid. My mom used to say that all the time: you can't save when you still already owe. Another big thing that I did was tithe when I knew and where I knew to tithe to. That was a very important aspect of getting out of the debt.
What did you do to achieve your goal?
Well, there were many steps, and first was I had to get myself committed. That was the first thing. I had to be totally committed. I had to be committed beyond what my friends were thinking of me when I'm out and about, and I had to get committed to being a good steward of my money. So it's not that I'm like cheap or anything, because like I hate to pay the park. Oh my gosh. But now I'll valet park all day long because I feel like I'm getting something for that. Now with like I hate to pay ATM fee. I'd rather tip you than pay an ATM fee. I'd just rather do it that way. So different things like that. So first, like I said, I had to get committed that I wanted to be out of the debt and take care of myself. After all, I'm a grown-ass woman and I'm not taking care of my life.
Okay. The next question is,
I think maybe I have a little bit more to say about that. So once I did that, I also took into account all the things that I know about money and how to use money, what the tithing principles will do for you, and how to use those principles to get out of debt, and just employing all the things that I've had used in the past. But what was different this time is that I kept the commitment not only to just get out, but to stay out. Because I've been out many times before, but this time I was made the commitment to stay out. So I don't live above my means. I earn the money before I'm taking the vacation. I'm gonna go to Disney. Everything is already paid for. Disney World. So everything is already paid for basically before. I've earned the money already before I'm going.
And did you have like a certain deadline you wanted to meet for the debt, or it was just bottom line, this debt needs to be paid off?
It was just bottom line, and then it just became, at the end, it became a race of, well, no, I don't think I ever even thought about the goal of when. I think I just thought about getting it done and what I needed to do to get it done. A cleaning job there for a special pandemic unit that they had at the warehouse, and I did that job for a while because it gave me a tremendous chunks of money to pay on that debt in a short amount of time. And that really just committed, because I had to get the out of there. Dealing, if you can imagine, I'm dealing with chemicals strong enough to kill a pandemic virus. Okay, I'm out.
All right, so what was the feeling like when you finally were debt free?
It was crazy because I was just like, you know, so I kind of started celebrating before it really was out of the bank account, you know, and the actual balance showed zero, like it was still pending. So that was kind of cool. But then when I looked at it and it was totally zero for like 3-4 months in a row, it's like totally zero. It's just like a breath of fresh air. It just kept feeling like just this wave of relief and just stress off my shoulders, and just noticing how I was so driven by it, and the picture I painted for my children of how stressed I was about money when I really wasn't really that stressed, but my actions showed that I was stressed. Because what I know now is that I survived over and beyond 100% of everything that ever happened financially. I mean, and there was a time when I was with their dad that we didn't have gas, so we didn't have hot water. We were able to eat because we had a microwave and we had electric, so we were able to eat. But the hot water tank was gas, and we still made away from that. You know, it just was really interesting, and how just the universe conspires. Because when I did call to pay, it's a really long story. I'm not going to bore you with the details. Look me up on Facebook or something. Hey, did I mention I'm single? Anyway, when the universe conspires to your commitment, because when I called to pay the bill, because I was making a point, and when I called to pay the bill, the lady, the representative did something that she really isn't supposed to do, and didn't require me to pay the deposit or something. She took whatever it was that I did have. So my point is, I'm stressing and stressing and stressing, and I didn't really need to do that. All I had to do was just keep doing my best, being a good steward of my money, and it all worked out, and that's how it all worked out.
And I will say, last Christmas, when she was debt-free, she actually didn't have IOU. So every Christmas she would have a slip that said IOU of a certain amount of money she wanted to give us. And this time it was actual cash. So she was handing out those Benjamins to everybody. And it was just a moment that we all like cherished, because we were so proud of her in that she accomplished her goal, and that she didn't have to do the IOU. It was actually the cold hard cash, which I was very thankful for. And at that moment, I know my siblings and I, we were very proud of her for accomplishing that goal and just staying debt-free on top of that.
Well, with that was, the IOU was, I had to wait until the next pay period. So it was always like a pay period behind. the relief or the breath of fresh air I was talking about is knowing that it's already paid for in advance. And that was the part that made it really super special, because I always gave them the exact same box. It was the same box, and I think it was the same dang play money in there every year, or I just go get it at the dollar store, a new set, over the years. And it did really mean a lot to me to be able to, like she said, the Benjamins were in there, and it really didn't even hit me while I was preparing for it. It was their cherishment of the moment after the moment, if that makes sense.
All right, Mom, so what is life like now that you're debt free?
Well, like I said, I'm very committed to staying debt free. I'm very aware of what my patterns are. Well, overspend. I'm very aware that I can have hoarding tendencies. I do not take those for granted. I definitely employ those every day. I do not buy things that are going to have to get fixed, that don't fit me, that I'm not going to wear right away. I do not buy things and store them in the house, and I'm going to display them at another time. If it's holiday time, then I buy holiday things at holiday time. Different things to keep the energy clear and flowing, if that makes sense, and not bogged down and not cluttered. I enjoy my life. Like I said, I'm really into traveling. I love to learn something new. I strive to do that every day. I love to be very intentional and conscious with my money. Like I said, I plan for things that I need to purchase. Therefore, I do not support Amazon. 211 billion stocks is too many for one person. So when I look in the mirror, I feel good about my choice to support local businesses, Black, people of color businesses, women-owned businesses, LGBTQ plus, anyone who is striving and to achieve their goal. I want to support their happiness, and add to it. So that makes me feel good when I look in the mirror. And like I said, I enjoy my life. Did I mention I'm single?
All right, Mom. My last question for you is, what advice would you give a person starting their journey or in the middle of their journey?
Yes. Get committed. Listen to people who have been there, done that. Mm-hmm. If you've got people telling you to do the opposite, listen to them, because they've been there, done that. Listen to them. If you're fortunate enough to have people in your life who have achieved where you want to go, listen to them. Listen to the people who are doing and or have the life that you want to have, or the goals that you want to have. I just think that that's a really smart thing. Get out of the rat race as quickly as you can. The first thing I would say is, if you can, if you're living at home and you think you can pay rent, put that away for a year, like you have to pay rent. Before you know it, 12 months, you've got a down payment. It's so important to control where you live. So important. When the pandemic hit, where I'm living right now, I'm renting. I am not owning. I'm renting. When the pandemic hit, if the owners of this house got any kind of kickback or cuts or savings, they did not pass it on to me. My daughter, Stephanie, she was able to take advantages, or she had options if she wanted to take advantage, because she does live in her own home. So now if you're not able to do that and you are in, like I say, the rat race, get committed to a plan that you know is doable to get yourself out of it. So instead of ordering up Uber Eats, save that money, go ahead, bite the bullet, eat at home, use the groceries, use your Costco membership, whatever, eat at home, save that money, treat you and your honey to a night out instead of these little temporary pleasures. And you will see how much money you save. And to me, it just helps me. It helps to motivate me that I see that I'm still getting to enjoy myself, but I'm being smart about how I'm spending my money. Because trust and believe, I am bougie, and I do believe in having a good time. Like I told you, I valet park. Okay.
All right. And what are your final thoughts?
Ooh, final thoughts. Holy moly. Let's see. I think it's really important to take advantage of your creative spirit, whatever that is for you. Definitely do things that challenge your mind and your creativity and stuff like that. Definitely, what was I going to say? I wanted to say something like, be sure you're following your passions, regardless to what. And the number one thing I'm going to say is listen to your intuition, that gut instinct, that knowing, that seeing, that feeling that you have. Follow it. Follow it always.
All right, you guys, that's it for this video. Thank you, Mom, for sharing your wisdom. She is a very wise woman. I've learned so much from her.
Oh, thank you, Jessica.
Always remember, be you, stay true, be original ink. I'll see you guys in the next video.